Hi, girlies. Welcome to Book Please Podcast. It's Alina here, and I have my girlies with me.
Hi, it's Natha.
Hi guys, it's Amanda.
Let me just say we are extra excited to be on today's episode because we have a special guest with us. She's a filmmaker, a winemaker, and an author. What can't she do? Alexandria Rizik.
Thank you, guys. I'm so excited to be here.
We're so excited to have you. Let me just tell you, before we, start an episode, we have a little powwow. We talk about everything that we're going to get into. And we were so excited to have you on. We're like talking about your book. We spent the first 20 minutes like reading poems back and forth. We're like, no, I love this one. I love that one.
I love it. A little like poetry slam. Yes. Poetry slam. I love it.
Yes. I just have to say, like, your poetry book, Pieces of Me, you just dropped it. It's absolutely amazing. It's so relatable. It's so deep. It's like we're reading your diary. It has themes of like love, heartbreak, learning to love oneself. I mean, what got you started in writing this?
So I started writing poetry when I was younger, and it kind of was this form of therapy for me when I went through my very first breakup when I was a teenager. And kind of from that moment forward, it became this outlet that whenever I was going through something in life, I wrote poetry. I would just love, like you said, it's like a diary, and I keep a diary. So it's very just personal things that I've gone through, even, loss and losing someone, grief. I've made poetry kind of that medium that I turn to when I go through something. And I published a book of poetry a few years ago called Words Written in the Dark. But this one was, Pieces of Me was a book that I wanted to put together kind of to assemble all of the poetry I've written over the course of the last 10 plus years. So it wasn't something where I was like, oh, I'm writing this in, a Word document, putting it together. It kind of just assembled itself. I was like, I'm going to put all this together and put it together in a book. And it felt truly like pieces of me that I was putting together in the form of a book.
And it's super vulnerable. Did you feel like nervous putting something like this out?
So it's always kind of nerve-wracking when you're putting like your feelings and emotions out there. I think when I was writing the poetry in the moment when I was going through these things, it was much more vulnerable, and it was kind of difficult to write because I was going through it at the time. So it was fresh. But putting those words on the page, I feel like kind of gets the emotions out of you and helps you get through it. So, but then putting it out there, it is very vulnerable and difficult. And, people are like, do you let your mom and dad read this? And I'm like, my mom, maybe not my dad. So, yeah.
Do you have a close relationship with your mom?
I do. I'm really close with my family's very tight. I'm half Armenian, half Lebanese. So we're all very close. I have 3 younger sisters and a niece. We're a very female dominant family. Me and my mom, though, my mom's like my best friend. I could tell her anything.
Same.
Like gory details, right?
I don't know about the gory details.
And she would never judge me. So, she kind of always created that safe space for my sisters and I.
I love that.
I just wanted to say, like, one thing I loved is, as a teenager, I feel like whenever I was going through anything, I listened to music. So while I was reading this, I was like, where was this when I was younger? Because you literally, like right now I'm at such a good place in life. And like, there's stuff that I read that I was just like, oh, that's just how I feel. But then there's stuff I read that I was like, oh, if I was sad, this is like so relatable. Like I've been through that. So do you get people that tell you like reading this is super relatable as well?
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's what really motivated me to put the book out there is I've published other books and I've done film and that kind of thing. But I really wanted something that I felt like people could connect to and feel that, they aren't alone in the things they're going through. And I feel like this collection really, really accomplished that. So that's what I really loved about it. But yeah, I know. Isn't it funny? Especially when in hindsight, looking back when you're younger, you're like, maybe even I was like dramatic about things and they were so trivial looking back, yes. But you can't help it, especially when you're young. Ugh.
Totally. That's what we always say. It's
we always talk about this.
You think like when it's happening to you, especially when you're like in high school, you're like, this is the biggest thing in the world and you're so broken and shattered. And it's like, how do you move past something like that? And I feel like through your journey too, it is therapeutic to get it down on paper, to write it. It's like your journal. And
totally.
I was wondering, I know you had said like you had multiple muses that inspired some of these poems. Was there like a main person or like a big heartbreak event? Like, do they know that this is about them? Like, I need to know.
Okay, so actually I have some, well, now they're funny. They're funny stories now. So I would say yeah, there's definitely been some like, you feel, well, in the moment they felt major, right? Like kind of like we were talking before. Looking back, it was so trivial and stupid. I'm like, there are people dying in the world and like you're upset over like this breakup. And I mean, not to discredit that, that's, obviously those are things that shape you. So I'm not discrediting, the value of those experiences. But yeah, so I think a major one was when I was younger. I was like 16, 17, and it was just like my first real boyfriend. And I went through a very, it was a serious breakup, and it was kind of this thing that was on and off for years. And it's funny actually. I hadn't seen him in years, and we haven't talked or anything. There was no bad blood, but just I haven't seen him in years. We don't talk. There's no reason to. And I ran into him the other day. And of all things, I run into him on the day he's getting married. And I'm like, what is the universe trying to show me right now? Yeah. It was on his wedding day. I run into him and his bride, and she was cute. So I ran into him like, oh my God, are you getting married? And I'm like, it's just so ironic. Like the day or the month that I come out with this book. And I have all these poems, like heartfelt poems about him, and he's getting married. But I was happy for him, and it's just, I think it's funny looking. Right? I'm like, oh my gosh!
Did you write a poem that day?
I did. Don't judge me, because I was like, this has to mean something.
If you're his wife, turn off the podcast.
No, that's definitely seriously a sign of something for sure.
We all believe in signs, like literally.
Mm-hmm. Totally. You have to, because I don't believe in coincidences. I don't believe in accidents. Mm-hmm. And if anything, I feel like it's to show, like when those things happen, to show you like you moved on from this. Like you don't even feel toward that person anymore. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a weird.
Sure. Oh, we get that.
Yeah, everything comes full circle.
But in the moment, you thought you were gonna die. Like it was the worst thing ever.
I thought I was gonna be the one marrying him, right? And now I'm like, I couldn't even imagine. But like, I was happy for him. So.
It's funny how like later on you're like, this person does absolutely nothing for me.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, but I think that's part of also like growing up. You're not the same person you were, I feel like I wasn't not even the same person I was 6 months ago.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
14 years ago. So
we're all like in our early, I can't even say it, early 30s.
I hate it.
And I just have to say, like, I will say like, just being able to have my 20s to like grow and learn who I am and what I like and date. And even when I thought it was the worst thing ever, those things were the best experiences for me to teach me what I like, what I'm willing to and not tolerate,
Totally. It's all a lesson. I totally feel like everything you go through is like a lesson and kind of a stepping stone to the next phase of your life.
Mm-hmm. They say you only have 3 true loves in your life. I don't know if that's true or not.
My mom,
my God, to my
my dog.
I know. Do you feel like that's true? A part of me is like, I don't know.
I think that's
a little
too
bit.
many.
That is too many. I'm overwhelmed.
I've only been truly, when you know what real love is, I think I've only had that once. And I'm like, I don't know. That's exhausting to me.
I feel like I'll know
we're only in our early 30s.
But I think it comes in different forms. Like the first one is like that premature love. There's one that's like really breaks you. And then there's your like true love. I think it's like different levels to it. And that's kind of like what you describe in your book. Is there any like poem or something that really sticks to you that's like one of your favorites, or like you really remember that moment and it got to you?
There are so many that
we all just like have this.
I feel like I'm trying to think of one that really, really sticks with me. I would say, okay, on page 23, that's one of my favorite poems, A Rose Blooms. And I just like it because I feel like it's so descriptive and has so much imagery, but it's so deep in a way. You know what I mean? Like it describes so much without saying much.
Do you want to read it?
Couldn't be more true, honestly.
Yeah. You want me to read it?
Yeah.
Okay. Only if you guys snap for me after.
Okay.
Okay,
We
like a real
will.
poetry slam.
We'll do it.
Okay. A rose blooms and suddenly everyone wants to pick it. So I shall never tell anyone of our love, for people want to kill a beautiful thing when they see it.
Beautiful.
We're supposed to
Honestly.
snap.
Yeah.
Yes, we got to
Sorry,
snap.
way
We
too
just
much.
discussed this.
Encore.
Oops, I was
Honestly,
thinking about this. Sorry.
I will say, like, this book, it's like it's so nice to just like have and just like read as the days pass. Like, I just found myself like just going through them and I had chills. Like, it's just so like so relatable to so many people. I wonder, like, what is something you feel like, I feel like some of them have this theme of like working through when you know something's not right, but should you stay, or like, am I confused? Like, what gives you strength in the moments to know to like move past them?
Yeah, I think that's really, really difficult. And I think all women have been in a position where it's like, is it harder for me to leave or is it harder for me to stay? And I think that truly going through some of the relationships I've been in, or even, I have my wine company. And so I do a lot of business, learning to walk away even from like business relationships, that kind of thing. It teaches you kind of to, when something feels stale, if you feel it in your gut, intuitively when something doesn't feel right. And I think you just, sometimes you just kind of throw the Hail Mary and have to walk away, and whatever's meant to be is going to be. That's what I think. I think that whatever's meant to be is going to be at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like,
And if it
trusting
bites for you,
Yeah.
I agree. Exactly. I always say, I think people struggle. I feel like as women, tell me if I'm wrong, we really carry a heavy weight of things. We carry like a lot of burden on us and blame ourselves, like, oh, this didn't work out because I did this or this, whatever. And I always say, you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I feel like things are going to work out if they're meant to work out with that person
Exactly.
or that, experience.
Through thick or thin, all those things.
Yeah.
We all have that intuition and that gut punch, but we always ignore it. I think that's what it is. Like, we always ignore it.
We ignore it or we justify it.
Yeah.
Or then you look to yourself, like you said, and that's not what it is. It's not a reflection of you. It's like, if you're repeating, you can't love someone more and make them love you more. It's just, it's either meant to be or it isn't, exactly like you said.
I just throw it all on my therapist. I'm like, this is how I feel. Make me feel better.
There you go. Sometimes you just need a little therapy session, right? To talk
I don't
out.
know if there's any truth to this, but I recently watched a YouTube video of this woman. She's like been married for 40 years. And she said the key is having your partner love you more than you love them. The man love the woman more than the woman loves the man. And I believe that's true.
Yeah.
It would be nice to think that there's a world where it's equal.
Yeah, right.
I know, right?
The pessimism.
I know.
I love that you mentioned your wine, Poetry in a Bottle. I think that's such an amazing pairing and so clever. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. So I started my own wine company back in 2020. It was during COVID. I've always loved wine. And a little background on it, I'm Armenian. So I don't know if you guys know about the Armenian genocide. Do you guys know what that is? Yeah. So before the Armenian genocide, my great grandparents, they had a vineyard in the mountains, in the Caucasus Mountains there, and it was completely destroyed during the genocide. So I feel like that's kind of like where the impulse for winemaking came from. It's kind of like a tribute to my family and my heritage in a way. But, I love poetry, obviously. I'm a writer, and I wanted to combine those two passions of writing and wine. So, yeah, I really, it's a fun project, and it's really expanded over the last couple of years.
I have to ask, do a lot of the poetry come while you're having some wine?
Oh, yeah. A little like liquid motivation, right?
Love that.
Yeah.
What's your favorite wine? Red or white?
I'm more of a red girl. I mean, it depends on the time of year, but I love red. How about you guys? What do you guys like?
Red.
Pinot Noir.
I love it.
sure.
Yeah. See, I'm going to be the different one here. It's
You like
Pinot Grigio for me. But when I grow up, I plan to like red. I want to like red.
Yeah.
I'll get there.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. You just need to find that one that just
Mhm.
kind of clicks for you.
Oh,
For
that's there.
sure.
We're going to a wine tasting.
I love
Yes.
it.
Let's
I
do it.
love it.
I
Oh
love
my
that there's
gosh.
poems too on your bottle. I think
Mhm.
that's so beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, it felt like fitting for the name.
Mhm. Even the artwork is super nice. Like
Thank
so
you.
fitting.
Right? It's got that kind of like
Like
romanticism, mystery to
exactly.
it, poetic. Yeah. So yeah, they definitely go hand in hand, poetry and wine.
Who is the M, A plus M on your book?
Oh my
Who is the
God.
M, Alex?
You are the first person to ask that. That's so funny. Oh my gosh, I can't say his
Come
name
on,
on
he
here.
knows, Michael Matthew.
Yes, let us know if you're
Not if
close.
I
Not if
got
close.
it. Let me know.
No, not yet. Not yet. But you know what's so funny is I wonder like if there's certain people that wonder if it's about them. You know what I mean? Like I feel like guys kind of have that ego, like, oh my God, that's about me.
Oh, totally. For
You
sure.
know? No, yeah, there's no one's asked me that. That's so funny. And I wonder if that person knows. But I could tell you one of the poems about them is on page
Ooh,
15. Page 15. It's
All
a
right.
long one.
If you think it's
It's a long
about
one.
you, drop it in the comments.
I'm
Ooh.
dead right now.
Book
I
too. It's like,
folded this one because
you
I
did?
look at it. I
Oh
love
my
this poem.
God.
This person means something and I know it.
Oh, well, thank you. I'll thank Mr. M. Thanks, Mr. M. Definitely like some Easter eggs, some like little hidden symbols throughout the cover and in the book that I did.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Also within like the heartbreak and navigating things, like I feel like there's also a theme of like finding yourself, not blaming yourself. Like what are some things that you feel like you've learned, like how you show yourself love or have self-care?
Yeah, there's definitely themes, like you said, of self-love and just kind of learning to let the universe guide you. Because I feel like I'm someone that, I feel very responsible, like, oh, I have to make this work, or, it's up to me for it's maybe it's also the like entrepreneur in me because I own a company, like I like to be self-sufficient, get things done.
Mhm.
But sometimes you have to learn just to like let go and let life take over, which can be very hard. But yeah, and these different pieces of my life, whether it's a relationship or grief or just like going through something difficult, a trying moment, have has it's really shaped me to kind of go with the flow and let go. Um, but that's kind of what I wanted to put all these specific poems together. They were like these pieces that really shaped my life and have like shaped me into who I am.
Well, you're awesome. So
Oh my God, you guys are awesome, you gorgeous, gorgeous girls. I
Oh my
love
gosh,
it.
stop it.
What's your sign?
My sign, I'm an Aquarius. Do I
Me
seem like one?
too.
Are
I'm an
you? I
Aquarius,
love it.
yes.
What's your birthday?
January 21st.
Oh my God, I'm the 24th. We're January
Oh my God.
Aquarians. I feel like a very special breed. What are you guys?
Yes.
I'm a Libra.
I'm a Scorpio and I just don't know. Like, do you know
You're a Libra.
astrology?
You're a
Do
Libra.
you know astrology like well to help me? Are you going to guide me right now? Because I don't get it. Like certain things, 100%. Like outgoing, like I'm a journalist, I'm in broadcasting, like that's my
Yeah.
life. Fine. And then it's like, you know what you want. Like I'm like, no, if we're doing something together, I'm like, no, whatever you want to do. Like I'm such a people pleaser. I quiet myself. Like I can't have confrontation. I'm like, this is not a
It's
Scorpio.
the Libra
Like,
side of you. Mhm.
there's something else, but my mother doesn't know what time I was born. So, I'm at a dead end here.
Mine either.
Oh, that's so funny. Well, okay, so first of all, I love Libras and Scorpios. I do. I think they're both very loyal signs.
100.
But yeah, that's so funny because I feel like Scorpios usually are more, it's not outspoken though, but they speak their mind. They're not afraid to say what's on their mind.
Oof, can't relate.
That is
Really?
you.
Oh my
You
gosh.
think I speak my mind?
Yes, I don't
If
think you
I have
bottle.
something, I'm loud, but if I have something that I really need to address, I guess
Yeah.
confrontation, shaking, anxiety, like
Wow.
pale, like
But you
I'm
get
like,
it done.
now because I got a therapist before the summer.
Mhm. Mhm.
So you guys don't know your like moon and rising signs?
Nope. I'm like, Mom,
I
I
have
was
no
your
idea.
firstborn. How do you not
Oh
know
my
what time I was
gosh.
born?
Oh my
My
gosh.
mom
that's
will
so
pretend,
funny.
and she's like, "Is that you or your brother?"
Oh yeah, yeah, same.
I'm like, "You don't even have one time in your head." Like, Sorry,
Oh
Mom, I
I'm
love
like
my
you.
night,
gosh.
morning, anything.
Not
I
that, do you
love
know
that.
yours?
No, I just know I'm an Aquarius. That's all I identify as.
That's all you
Literally.
need
That's
to know. That's
Yeah,
all you
you
need
can
to
tell me
know.
a little bit more since you're an Aquarius too.
I feel like we're very creative Aquarians.
Okay.
And I feel like Aquarians also, they speak their mind and they're kind of misunderstood. Everyone thinks we're aloof. We're not aloof. We actually know everything going on and hear everything, but
Mm-hmm.
we just don't feel a need to acknowledge all of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have a lot of
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Aquarius friends. Very,
Right?
yeah, forward too,
Yeah.
very forward, which I like.
Very
Mm-hmm.
forward.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
forward.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh. I know. My one sister, she's totally into like all the zodiac. She knows everything about him. She could, if she was here right now, she would guess all
She's
of your
probably like, you're
signs
wrong.
and like guess them all
We're doing a whole
accurately.
episode.
Right?
Yeah,
It's
we
insane.
have an episode on signs and superstitions because we
Oh, yes.
Oh my
believe strongly
gosh.
in them.
Do you believe
Yeah.
in superstitions?
Okay, to an extent, I really do. Sometimes I try to block them out because I'm like, you're being crazy right now. But I do. I do. Like, okay, like if I was somewhere when something bad happened, I like can't go back to that place. You know what I mean? Like I was at like this
Yeah.
restaurant once, like that kind of thing. Like I'm like, I don't want to go back there because something bad happened when I was there. Those kind of superstitions, you know?
No, we're talking about like seeing a black cat, like
Well,
Oh, like
n-
that?
yeah,
Okay.
Everyone
someone
would.
tripping over
but I
you.
think
Like,
I know what you're saying too, because I'll feel that way too. Or like if something doesn't make me feel like
Bad luck.
sometimes people say like with a full moon, oh, it's good luck or this or that. I had a
Yeah.
few like full moon nights that were bad, and now I'm like, oh, I don't even want to go out when it's like that
Right.
because I'm
Mhm.
like, nope, just rather sit in my room. Like I'm good.
No, totally. I know what you're saying. I knock on wood all day long.
Oh,
I'm
good.
like,
Mhm.
I'll
Oh,
knock on
yeah.
wood all day long. My
Good.
one aunt, my aunt, she didn't have wood in her car, an old car she had, and so she would carry a block of wood in her car so that she could knock on it because,
Yes.
That's
Oh,
real
That's
good.
old
commitment.
school. That's
Right?
old
But
school
a
for
part
sure.
of me feels like there's certain things like if you broke a mirror, people say if you break a mirror, 7 years bad luck. I feel like
Mhm.
you already had the bad luck if you broke the mirror. You know what I mean?
True.
Or
Mhm.
like I feel like if you see a black cat, I feel like that's good luck. October or Friday the 13th. I
Yeah.
feel like that's good luck. I put my book out on Friday the 13th. So I was
I
like,
love
why not?
that.
Oh.
Yeah.
I love that.
See, I feel like every single day, like I live by superstitions, but I come from an old
She's like,
school
I can't leave.
Can't live
European
like that.
family where that's
Right.
all we ever talk about. It's like if something
Totally.
happens, it's like, oh my God, do this, do that, do this, like pray over this. Like,
Oh
Yeah,
my God.
it's
I'm like
like-
YOLO. Let go and let God.
That's so funny. No, I'm the same way. There's like certain things that I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so superstitious about, but other things I'm like, okay, you need to chill.
and we're a product of our environment. Like if your parents are kind of like that, your family's like that, odds are you're going to be like that too.
Right. Exactly. But it sounds like very similar. You said you come from like a European family, right?
Yeah, it's Serbian.
So
Mhm.
okay, yeah. So it's like
Yes.
very similar.
Mhm.
Yeah.
For sure.
Oh my
Did
gosh.
anyone in your family, like, I find this so special that you are also a writer among other things that you do. Is there anyone else in your family who's like done this, or are you first?
Yeah, so I do have writers actually on both sides of my family. My grandpa on my mom's side, he was a writer. My aunt, on my mom's side, she actually is the one who got me started into writing. When I was younger, she bought me a journal. She told me to write her a story in it. That's kind of how I got started.
I love that.
Yeah, and then one of my dad's brothers has, he's a writer too on my dad's side.
Oh my gosh. So what
Yeah.
is the process like when you want to publish? Because I know some of our listeners are interested and like are kind of like-minded with all of us. And I just
Yeah.
wonder what that was like for you.
Yeah, so obviously there's the traditional side of publishing and then self-publishing. And I feel like there's a lot of like gray area almost like between the two now. But I've worked with a publisher in the past, more of like a traditional approach, and I liked it. For this specific book, For Pieces of Me, I wanted 100% creative control, and I kind of just wanted to see if I put it out there myself, like how it would do. And so I self-published this book. But the process, I decided with this book that I was like, I want to be old school. This is only going to be like paperback, hard copy. You can't get it as an ebook.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I love
self-published.
that.
Right? Like, I feel like we need to go back to that.
I'm
Like,
an
video
ebook
I
girl.
love
stores.
that comment because I'm so old school. So when you said old school,
Yeah.
I'm like, whatever she's gonna say after this is gonna resonate with me.
Right? Right? It's the Aquarius.
Yes.
It's the Aquarius in
It's gotta
us.
be. Do you love the smell of a hardcover
Oh my
book? Like when you
gosh.
open it, like I love that smell. Like I
Me
love it.
too. Me
Hmm.
too. I love it. I love like the smell of like a bookstore,
Yes.
a
Oh,
new book. I love it.
Oh
same,
no,
Ugh.
I
I
same.
don't
think
agree.
too for this, it's like extra special to have a physical book. Like it's poetry and it's like it's not something you can't really enjoy it any other way. Like this is
Yeah, I
how
wouldn't like
it's
this
meant to
as an
be
ebook.
read.
Mm-hmm.
But I think
Totally.
we have had like a little, we can ask you because we've
Yeah, we
had
might
like a
as well.
little, we'll put you in the hot seat. We've had like a little
Yeah.
debate here
Okay.
because we're like team physical book, team Kindle, and
I already
team
know what you're
audio.
gonna say.
And each one of us is one of those. So we're all three completely different. And I'll
Wow.
plead my case later, but
Me too.
Why don't you
I'm probably the
guess
worst
which one
one.
is which, and then let
yeah,
us know
well,
what
she
you
already
prefer.
knows.
You should know, yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, so between Kindle, hard copy, and audio.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay. I feel like, okay, I know my Aquarius girl is now a hard copy.
For sure.
I feel like Amanda is Kindle. I think. Oh my gosh.
Ouch.
I do have a Kindle, but
Okay, your audio,
I'm
right?
audio, yes.
Okay, that was like I should have stuck with my original thought. That's my original thought, but I was like, I don't know.
You
I'm
gotta
audio than
trust your
Kindle.
gut punch.
So what are you? Your physical book all the way?
Yeah, I love like a good like physical book. Like you just can like cozy up with the book in your
Yes.
hand. You know what I mean?
Yes.
For me too, I would agree with that. I love the smell and feel of a book, but I think practicality now lately, I swore I would never get a Kindle, but it has been life changing because it's like I just throw it in my bag. I have all my books when I travel. It's easy, and when I'm in bed, it has its own little like I can read it in the dark. I am always like struggling with a light source, and then I have to get up, and it's like a whole thing. So I've enjoyed it, but I will say like having a real book it's a different
I
experience.
feel like I need to defend
It's a
myself now.
Yes, let's hear
So,
it.
I do love Kindles too. Like I listen. You're the exception because I definitely would not, listen to like I'd rather read it. But I like audio because I'm super busy. So like while I'm working out, I can listen while I'm in the car, while I'm like
But
doing
it's a
cooking.
podcast.
Yeah. So, but I don't mind listening. But I do
Yeah.
like to, if I'm not watching TV, I'll sit there and read my Kindle instead. But books are just, I don't have space for them. Like I do like books.
Yeah.
She
It's
has
just-
a rack
She
right
has
next
a
to her.
stack of 20 books
The only
next to her.
listen, first off, those are self-help. Those were like I need to like
You're
write-
like, I need help.
That's
but
so funny.
I like books too, but I would say Kindle audio preferred.
Do you read a
Yeah.
lot?
You know what's so funny is I really don't read a lot. Isn't that weird? I do when I find something I really like, but I have to really enjoy it.
Yeah.
And sometimes it takes me a really long time to read a book, but I'm the same way with movies too. Like I was talking to my sister the other day and I was like, I have to finish this movie I started. She's like, are you talking about the movie you started in April? And I was like, yeah. Like I just haven't gotten to it. I have so much to do that I don't know. It's
But
just not
what's
on my
your like
priority list.
go-to genre then?
My go-to genre?
Like even if it's shows or like guilty pleasure shows, I have a lot of those too.
Right. Okay. So, I have like a very weird variety of taste in like books and movies and shows. Like I love the Harry Potter series, but then I also love like Euphoria and really weird indie stuff. So it's kind of like an array of different things. What do you guys like? What are you guys watching right now? I can't find anything.
Okay. I love quality television like the Kardashians and
I know
Selling
you
Sunset.
did not just say that.
Jersey Shore, Selling Sunset.
Yeah.
Quality stuff. The quality
Well, it's
stuff.
so mindless. Sometimes it's so mindless that it's just you need it to decompress at the end of the day. You know?
Amanda, save the day. What do you like to
Oh
watch?
gosh. So I don't know if you guys have seen Virgin River, but it is like a love that I
So good.
want,
Yes.
obsessed. Oh, it's so good. But I've literally seen everything. But my go-to, I love sci-fi. Like I love stuff that's not real, escape
Yeah.
reality, or I like thriller. Like I want someone to be like
Love thriller.
figure out who
Mhm.
did it.
Yeah.
Not that, that's you.
Thriller for sure. Lately, love stories too, which is so out of the norm for me. But
Yeah.
Alina kind of got me into that with Colleen
No,
Hoover.
Colin Hoover did. Yeah.
Yeah, Colleen
Oh my
Hoover
gosh.
did, and that book killed me, literally.
Okay, so Colleen Hoover, It Ends With Us. You will love the book. Like, it doesn't matter what your genre is. Like, I just suggest you read it. It's
I
so good.
binged it. Both books.
I need to. Everyone talks about it. And you know what's funny? I actually started, ironically enough, the audiobook when I was on a road trip.
Look
but I
at
have to
you.
like return to it. I know. I have to like get back to it. Maybe like when I'm working out or something, I should like just turn it on and listen.
It's really
You know?
good.
Way to go.
And what we
Yeah.
always say is like, I love, because it's layered. It's not just a love story,
Mhm.
but then,
Yeah.
and you hear It Ends With Us and you're like, okay, love book. But I love that at the end, in every book of this series, it sounds like it's about, you know, a woman and a man and the coupling. But I always say that I love, like, it's like that chilling moment when you find out what it represents and it has nothing to do with a man. And
Yeah,
I
like
was
that
like,
part
yep,
too.
love that.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's what everyone says. And they're coming out with a movie, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, let's not get into it.
They're coming out with a movie. It was because of the strikes and all that, like production got shut down. They were
Yeah.
filming where I used to live in New Jersey in Hoboken, if you're
Oh my
familiar at
gosh.
all. But
Yeah.
they've really just like taken the
Botch the
opportunity.
cast.
Yes, like it's just you have Blake Lively starring in this movie. Like you have
Yeah.
endless opportunity and you make her look like something
Raggedy Ann.
I mean, how do you do that to her? Like it's just the fashion choices, none of it matches like
The
the
character.
book.
Mhm.
It's just very bizarre behavior on their part. Like they took it and they just like went somewhere that no one was thinking and we're just like all actually it's been like a whole petition on social media like recast it. Like it's been bad.
I think we're
But-
biased. The book is always going to be better than the movie. Always.
Yes.
I know. That's the thing. Yeah, that's it. So I haven't read the book. So it doesn't really match, you're saying,
At all.
how the book is described.
At all. Like
Okay.
literally not. It was bad.
Yeah.
It's really bad. But then again,
There's
I
the
loved
Scorpio. There's the Scorpio.
There it is. Like I read Twilight. I read all the books and I was
Same,
first in
me
line at
too.
the theaters.
Yeah.
And the first movie was horrendous, but I still was obsessed and I went back for every movie. So
I hated
Yeah.
the casting, but I love the book. Oh, the books are so good.
So
Didn't
good.
read
I
those
did. I
books.
love that series.
Oh,
So did you like Vampire Diaries or anything like those types of shows?
I've never watched Vampire Diaries. I
Ugh.
know. But I know. I did. I love Twilight. I love that series. I know I should watch like a good like vampire, some sort of like
I
fantasy
love
show.
that stuff.
Especially in the
too.
fall. It's like the time.
It really is. It
Fall
totally
is my favorite season. Like, absolutely love fall.
I
know.
like Christmas because I like rom-coms. You know,
I know.
Holiday is one of my favorite movies. I could watch it a million times. As
You do
Oh
love
my God.
Quality.
Wait, Holiday. Who's in that again?
well. Roberts, what's her name?
Yes, yeah, Emma Roberts.
Emma
right? Okay,
Roberts,
I'm thinking
yes.
of the right one.
Oh.
My favorite is The Holiday, though. Have you guys seen that?
They all have the same title
Title, I
and the same
know.
plot.
I
Which
know,
one is
right?
that one?
Who's in that?
With Cameron Diaz and
Oh.
Jude Law, and the two women switch houses. Do you know what I'm
Oh
talking
no,
about?
I didn't watch
Oh,
that
like
one.
for the holidays. Yeah, she's trying to get out
Yes.
of the city.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, that one's good too.
Love it.
I would totally do that.
Love it. Right? So cute and like
Ugh.
cozy.
I love
I
it.
know.
So since you live in a warm climate similar to ours, like what do you like doing in your free time? Like, are you an outdoors person or?
You know, I love like being in LA. I'm like, in a city. I love being able to like walk and everything's so walkable in my area. I love that. But I'm not like a very naturey person at all.
Oh, no.
No, like I'm the worst. Like I'm from Arizona, but like I hate hiking. Like I hate it.
I love
Just
hikes.
because I don't know, I get freaked out.
But
like,
you
there's,
were in like
snakes.
serious heat and different
Yeah.
climate.
Okay, I have a
Yeah.
question based
Yeah.
off something I read. So I know
Okay.
you like yoga.
Yes.
Like, are you insulted if I ask if you also like Pilates? I mean, I know people say it's like not the same thing,
I
but
love Pilates.
you love Pilates. Oh,
Same.
we
I
love
love
Pilates. Yeah.
Pilates. I need to get back to it too. I haven't done it as much lately. And I'm like, I need to get back to like a good old reformer.
Amanda and I will be next to each other on the reformer, and it is quite a time.
Oh, she'll
And
be like, I don't feel anything. And I'm like, what?
hilarious.
Dying over here.
That's so funny. I feel like you guys need like a reality show like on the side from the podcast.
Vlog our lives.
My life would
Yeah.
be extremely boring.
Oh my gosh.
We're
No,
all
would
so
be
very
like-
different.
Yeah,
now we're
reading and
superstition. I'll
drinking
be like,
coffee.
oh, there she goes again with that same thing.
Yeah, my life is so uneventful, truly.
Stop. We're here to talk about self-love, okay?
Yes.
Like, honest to God.
It's just
Wow.
not uneventful, but it's a very calm, easygoing, chill lifestyle. I'd
Walks
To
say.
in
try different
nature.
coffee places, you know?
Yeah,
Yes.
she loves going on her little
Yeah,
local
what's your
shop
coffee
tours.
order if you like
I love
coffee?
that.
yes.
I love that. Ooh, wait, what's your coffee order?
Oh gosh, cappuccino
you-
for sure. Cappuccino.
Can you
Oh,
guess
what were you gonna
mine?
say? Can you guess?
Yeah.
Amanda.
Okay. Oh my gosh.
This is
I get
fun.
so
She's
many-
never gonna get it.
Yours is easy.
Okay. A coffee order. Do you get like some sort of like vanilla latte or a hazelnut latte?
Me?
Yeah.
Let me give you a hint. I don't like sweets at all.
Okay, so do you just like black coffee?
Yes.
Yes,
Me
ding
too.
ding
That's
ding.
how I have to drink my coffee.
Yeah.
At least the first cup of the day has to be just black, nothing
And
in
it
it.
kind of sucks though too, because we know good coffee if we drink it black. So there's times where I'm
Right.
like, oof.
Right. Totally.
I'm more just
Totally.
like, I love a cold brew or an iced coffee. Doesn't matter what the weather is. I need a little something in there, like almond milk, sugar-free vanilla.
Yeah.
Ready to go. That's all I need. I'm a Starbucks girly, and I personally actually fund Starbucks by myself. And
Yeah,
I'm
true.
proud
some
of the
sauce in
success
there.
that the company has had.
That's so funny. I wish I could drink cold brew. Cold brew made me like think I was having a heart attack though because it was so caffeinated or
I love
something that I was
cold
like, oh my god, my heart's palpitating right now. Like, am I dying? But I loved it.
But I loved it.
It's like I loved. I went home for to visit family, and my mom and grandma, like, I just have like a cold brew in the fridge. They're just watching me, and I'm like on my second jug, like pouring it in like this huge like 30-ounce thing, and they're like,
God.
again, are you okay? And I'm like,
This
I feel like
explains the
it's gonna
memes.
do nothing
So,
for me.
Right. No, cold brew people though, like cold brew people love their cold brew, and it's like my sister, she's a cold brew person,
Yeah.
and she gets like these big things of it, and I'm like, I give you so much credit because I really did. I felt like I was dying when I drank it, but it was like good, and then like all of a sudden I was like sweating, and I'm like, oh my god,
Yeah, I'm not well here.
yeah,
It's okay. That's why Alina sends memes at like 11 o'clock at night.
I don't sleep, but I do work for a morning show, and I have to be up nice and early.
Oh my gosh, I don't sleep either though.
Well, who sleeps at these days?
I
besides
love
go
that?
to
nice
by
quality
9.
sleep. I go to
Oh my
bed
God.
at 9.
Oh my gosh, you guys are so lucky. I went to bed at like 9 or 10. I think it'd be like a nap. I'd be up by midnight. And I'm ready to
100%.
go.
And I still wake up at like
100%.
9. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. I'm a
No,
freak.
if
get some
if I
sleep.
did that, my body would be like, okay, we're up at midnight, literally.
Yeah. No, it'd be like a nap.
Mhm,
You know.
for sure. Okay, so you have done so many amazing
Mhm.
things. What is next for you? Are you writing another book? Another
Some
bottle
more
of
wine.
wine?
Oh my gosh, all the above, all the above. I'm working on some more poetry, and I'm working on a couple of scripts, one that I've finished that I would really like to sell and get out there. And I want to make another one. My next one I would do is probably a rosé, and my goal is to get that done by next summer. I'm hoping. So
Oh, that's a
fingers
perfect
crossed.
time for it.
I
Yes.
know, right?
Love
We
some
would
rosé.
love to support. And if anyone wants to check out your book or your previous books, you've written also a children's book, you have another poetry book, you have a novel, correct?
Yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah.
AlexandriaRizik.com for all of the above and your wine. You're on
Yes.
Instagram at Alexandria_Rizik, right?
Yes.
And anything else that we should know?
I think that about covers it. I think that's all. We
Last
covered a lot of
question.
territory, Yeah.
Do you like dogs?
Oh my gosh. Yes, you know what? I do like dogs. I like bigger dogs. I don't know why. I have a giant schnauzer, and it's
Oh.
just like it's so cute. My sister has a dog. His name's Dude.
Oh my
And
God.
Dude,
Are
how
you kidding
Dude,
me?
I actually
no,
like that.
his name's Dude Man, and he's like a
I,
little, he's a little morky, and he is like the one dog I really can't
there Lena
stand.
goes. What do you have?
I have a Morkie, but his name is not Dude Man.
Hers is Dude Man, and she's like trained him when I'm like on her nerves. She's like trained him to like pee in my room, so he
Oh my
drives me
God.
nuts. And yeah,
Oh,
Aw.
no,
yeah,
no, no.
he's like the one dog I can't handle.
I understand that. It's like because it's also your sister's dog, so you have to be just like a little bit.
Right,
But
right.
yes, I love all dogs, big, small.
Same. Not that loves dogs the most.
I plead the fifth. When you said that, I was like, you're not a true Aquarius. Like,
This is Cash.
Oh my
Say
god,
hi, Cash.
Cash
Papa.
must be well trained. He didn't
My
even
little
make a sound.
nephew.
He was taking a nap. This is Cash Money,
Aw.
my
Cash
little baby
Money!
bunny with a K.
So cute.
Auntie
Oh
Mandy
my
loves
God.
you.
Say we love you. We miss my aunties. We're so excited to have your book. I've read him some of your poems.
I tortured him on your birthday.
Yes.
Oh
She
my
put a party
gosh.
hat on him and
He was
everything.
not having it.
That is so
But-
cute with his
Yes.
ears. Oh
I
my
know
gosh.
they're so funny. He is hilarious. When I got him, the breeders were calling him Dumbo. I was like,
Oh
"You
my
guys."
gosh, because his little ears, that's so cute.
It's so funny.
Adorable.
Honestly, we've had such a great time chatting with you. It's like we had a little girl session.
I know.
It has been wonderful getting to know you, and we know everyone is going to be just as obsessed with you listening.
Aw,
And
you
we
guys are so
thank
nice.
you so much for being here, and we can't wait to see what you have coming next.
Thank you guys. This was so fun. I'm so glad
So
we were able
much
to do
fun.
this.
Yes.
yes. So it was such a pleasure having Alexandria on. I can't wait to see what else she has in store and try her rosé.
I feel like we were hanging out with her. It
Mhm,
was so much fun. Had such a great time. And honestly, we all, like, not even just for the podcast, I feel like we all just thoroughly enjoyed her poetry book. As soon as we got it, we were like texting each other, talking about it. And it speaks volumes to how much this book really means to all of us and we can relate to it.
Yeah, I thought she was super sweet. Like you said, super relatable. And it's so easy to want to support her just because of how kind she is. And the book in itself, super good.
Yes.
If anyone's going through anything, even if you're like super happy and you want to read some happy poems, like she has that too. If you're down, it'll really help with that too. But she was absolutely a joy.
Guys, alexandriarizik.com. We'll put a link in our bio. So her last name is spelled Rizik. But you can check it out in our bio. And then for next week, we'll give you guys a little reading break. We actually are going to be recapping. So we all loved Brittany's autobiography. We're going to just kind of break down like the things that she talks about in her book. Whether or not you read it along with us, you'll still get a lot out of next week's episode. We'll just be like talking through it and her journey. So we'll be excited to be doing that for her book, Woman in Me.
Sounds amazing. Amanda, do you want to plug in our socials?
Yes. If you are watching, please make sure to subscribe. We would highly appreciate it. You can also follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and Threads at Book Please Podcast. We're also on Twitter/X at Book Please Pod. Thank you, everyone.